Good morning everyone and welcome to this little weekly vlog. I decided to vlog this week just because honestly I felt like it. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking you through my week and we're gonna be just hanging out, doing some fun stuff together. And don't worry, for those of you who are here only for the plants, there will be some plant care in here as well. I definitely have a couple of plant chores that I need to get done, so don't worry, there will be a mix of everything in this video. This is a great video to put on in the background while you're doing your own little thing. So yeah, I hope you will enjoy it. Grab yourself a cozy little beverage, a little snack, sit down, relax, or do something else while you are listening to me just blabber on about life and everything going on. It is currently 7:30 a.m. I woke up at 5:30, went for my run. I ran 5K. It was amazing, and I showered and I made myself a little brekkie, some overnight oats with banana, blueberries, seeds, and granola. And I'm gonna devour this because I'm so freaking hungry. This is pretty much what I eat every single morning, and I never get sick of it because it is so delicious. I'm gonna do that and then head to work, and I will catch you a bit later. Oh, and of course, got my coffee. Cheers. I have two plants in front of me, one that we need to repot and one that we need to pot up. And the first one on the list is the Alocasia Black Velvet. This is a plant that I had to restart. I used to grow this in semi-hydro. It was beautiful. And then all of a sudden, for no apparent reason, it just croaked and it rotted. So now I rerouted it in just like a normal soil based substrate. There is quite a bit of tree fern fiber in here, and she seems to be doing fine. However, she definitely needs a upsize because this is just a very small planter and she dries out like crazy and I can't keep up with it. But we're not going to be doing a big upsize. This is a 10 centimeter and I just want to move it to a 12 centimeter. Nothing major, but something that does need to happen. I don't like repotting alocasias because they never like it. Never ever have I had a positive experience when repotting alocasias, but what needs to be done needs to be done. And then the other plant on the list is my variegated Maranta that I had to chop up, honestly, not that long ago. Like, I feel like it hasn't even been a month that I chopped this plant up due to thrips. And if you've been on my channel, you'll know that I have been dealing with a lot of thrips lately. And honestly, I do have a bit of a positive update when it comes to thrips. I really haven't been seeing many in my collection. I see like the odd one or two here or there, but all in all, it's not as bad as it used to be. So hopefully that was just some kind of like weird period of time where thrips were attacking my plants. But knock on wood, I'm really not seeing any major infestations as of right now. But yeah, anyway, this was a victim of thrips and it was just time to restart this plant. And I'm telling you, this hasn't even been in water for like a month. And it already has such amazing roots. So yeah, it's time to pot her up. It's time to get her back into her former glory because this was at one point one of my favorite plants in my collection. It is a beautiful Maranta and I love Marantas on the whole, but I feel like Maranta as a genus is just one of those plants that you need to restart from time to time in order to just preserve their beauty, because with time they just get leggy and ugly. So yeah. And also for this plant, I feel like I want to try out semi-hydro. I have never grown a Maranta in semi-hydro and I'm just curious to see how it will do. No particular reason, like I never struggled with this plant in soil other than the fact that this thing will dry out quite quickly and then it will like droop over and everything. So I feel like semi-hydro will be a good route to go with this plant. Anyway, I talked way too much. Let's get to the repotting, starting off with the Alocasia Black Velvet. Also, I have this new repotting setup, which is like a metal mesh, and then I have a IKEA, like one of those like boot thingies underneath. And it's amazing because now I can work up here and all of the soil falls through the mesh and I can just scoop it up later on. So yeah, I've been really loving this setup as of late. And I can see a very, very healthy root system, which is amazing. I'm just teasing the roots a little bit. You definitely don't need to do that, but I also do see a couple rotten roots. So I will just go ahead and remove anything that looks suspicious. Again, not something that you need to do, but I just like to do it. Also, she does have a couple of corms. I think I will leave those. I've read somewhere that it's not a good idea to constantly pluck the corms out of your alocasia. I don't know how true that is or not. I don't know, sometimes I leave them, sometimes I take them off just because I feel like they're wasting a lot of energy, but I don't know. I'm no expert, and I'm definitely gonna be reusing the soil that she was in because this is really, really good soil, so I ain't wasting none of that. Okay, so there we go. This is gonna be her upsize. Not massive, but I feel like it's gonna be good enough. And again, I just wanna be able to water this plant a lot less because as of right now, I literally have to water this thing like every 3 to 4 days. And to me, that is a bit too much. Ideally, I like to water my plants once a week, once like every second week. I'm really looking forward to fall and it becoming a little bit cooler because that means I will have to water my plants a lot less frequently, which is going to be amazing. Now, obviously, the cooler weather, the less sun also comes with its own challenges, and I know that my plants will slow down. But honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to fall. However, I'm not looking forward to the lack of sunshine, not even for my plants, because I feel like my plants got enough sunshine this year and they really grew like freaking crazy. But like for me, for my own little mental health, sunlight is super, super important. And unfortunately, I live in an area that's surrounded by rivers, and every fall, every winter, it's just constant fog over here. So yeah, usually fall and winter are depression hours for me, but hopefully this season will be different. But yeah, quick little update on the Alocasia Black Velvet. I hope she will continue doing well. This is a really, really beautiful and stunning Alocasia, but as with all Alocasias, she is a little bit finicky, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. If this one tanks again, because I've had this for a couple of years, and this is probably my third or even fourth time restarting this plant from like nothing. So if it tanks like one more time, it's going out the door because I ain't got no patience for all of these diva plants, okay? Moving right along, let's go ahead and get the Maranta situated. I'm just going to be using one of these Amazon self-watering pots. I really like these. I think they work great. Sometimes the little indicators will get stuck, but it's really not a big issue. And I'm still kind of not sure how I feel about semi-hydro. Like there are aspects to semi-hydro growing that I absolutely love. Like I feel like my plants are just so healthy when they're grown in semi-hydro, and I feel like they grow so well, and I feel like it's a little bit less maintenance. But on the flip side, I feel like I have a lot more fun when I grow things in soil, and I feel like soil plants are maybe just a little bit more resilient. Because for like my semi-hydro plants, they will oftentimes just like start rotting for no reason. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. And I feel like soil plants are maybe a bit more forgiving than semi-hydro plants. I don't know. It could just be my environment or like the way I care for them, because honestly, I don't do all the things that you're supposed to do with like semi-hydro plants. Like I don't use any special water. I don't use like a special semi-hydro like fertilizer. I just use a fertilizer that's like for everything, for like soil and for semi-hydro. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like it works. But yeah, there are definitely plants that I have in semi-hydro that are absolutely loving it. And I've definitely had a lot of plant fails in semi-hydro. So I don't know. I haven't made up my mind of whether I really love semi-hydro or not. But I definitely like growing in it, and there are definitely a lot of pros to growing in pawn. So yeah, I don't know. I think I just need to continue experimenting with it and see how I will feel, maybe in a couple of years, because I always change my mind. I always change the way that I approach this hobby. And I feel like that's the great thing about this hobby, because you can change the way you grow your plants. You're not set in stone just because, like, for example, you grow some of your plants in semi-hydro. It doesn't mean that you have to grow all of your plants in semi-hydro, and vice versa when it comes to like soil growing or like even growing up your plants on like moss poles. I have been very vocal about not liking moss poles, and I feel like that's something that will definitely show in my plant collection as I kind of mature and become like a more experienced plant parent. I feel like as the years continue, I will probably have even less moss poles. And yeah, I don't know. I really would like to figure out semi-hydroponic growing and like just have all of my plants in semi-hydro, because I do feel like it is such a great way to grow plants. But yeah, there are just a couple of kinks that I haven't figured out yet, but it's all trial and error. This whole hobby is trial and error, and it's all about experimenting and having fun. And yeah, I have never tried growing a Maranta in semi-hydro, so I don't know how this will go. This might go terribly wrong, but it might also be a great success. But again, I'm not worried. If need be, I can always take more cuttings off this plant, restart it. Again, this is such a fast growing Maranta, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, I love how easy it is to up-pot semi-hydro plants. There's a lot less mess than when you're working with a soil. But yeah, very good Maranta. She is done, looking like a cute little snack. I will probably only add like regular water in here for like just the first couple of weeks, and then after that I will continue using some fertilizer water in her reservoir. And also I might fill the reservoir only halfway. I don't know, I'll see. I'll see how I'll feel about it. But yeah, just wanted to get these two little cuties done. And yeah, hopefully they will do good. Good morning! It is the next day, and I just finished my workout. Today was weight training. I run Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then Tuesday and Thursday I do my weight stuff, and then sometimes I will do like either a weight exercise or like a HIIT class on Saturday, and then Sunday is my rest day. I feel like that kind of schedule works for me, and it allows me to still, rest up, but also like just, get them gains. But yeah, today was a lifting day and I feel amazing. And it's just so funny because I never was like an athletic kid. I was always the nerdy, thin guy. So the fact that I'm lifting weights is just kind of crazy. And I have been doing this weightlifting routine for like 2 months now. I think I'm on month 3 right now. And honestly, I am so proud of myself because I see so much progress, not only like in my physical appearance, but just in my strength, in my mood, in my posture, even just like in my everyday life. Life is easier, and I'm just so grateful to have this body that is able and capable of doing all of these amazing things. I'm just really, really proud of myself, and I'm proud of how far I've gotten just with my mental health, with my like physical health, because like even a decade ago, I didn't even think that I would make it to 30. And fast forward to today, I'm 29 and thriving and just like improving my life constantly, and just, I don't know, I'm just so grateful to myself, honestly, and I'm proud of myself, and I hope that I will be able to keep up with this positive trajectory. However, I still do all of my exercising at home, just because, I don't know, gyms kind of scare me. Like, I'm not there yet. Maybe one day I will become a gym bro, but as of right now, I'm a home gym girly, because I don't know, like, just stepping inside a gym, oh, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. And I've always struggled keeping up with exercising. Like, I would do it for maybe like a couple of weeks and then fall off, and I repeated that cycle for years and years and years. And only in the recent couple of years have I been a lot more consistent with my workouts, with my yoga, now with my running, now with the weight training. And the main contributor to that consistency has been a mindset shift from, oh, I want to work out to look good, to, oh, I want to work out to feel good and to be healthy. And obviously, I mean, we all want to be jacked, and all of those are amazing side benefits. However, for me, I just want to be healthy. I just want to be a healthy little person. And another thing that really keeps me motivated as of lately is the fact that I'm going to become an uncle in January. I'm going to get a little nephew, and I want to be there for him. I want to be healthy for him. I want to be fit for him. I want to be able to run with him. I want to be able to carry him. I want to be able to grow old and see him grow up as well. I mean, by the time he's going to be 18, I'm going to be like almost 50. So like, yeah, that's crazy to think about. I want to be there for him when I hit that 50 age. You know, I still want to be able to move my body. I still want to be able to you know, teach him life lessons. I want to be there for him, hopefully for as long as I'm able to, and just, you know, support him and love him. And that has been one of like the biggest motivators as well for me to keep going and to really just get my life together. The way I look, the way my body looks, how much I weigh, how much I can lift really isn't important. The numbers aren't important. They're just made up numbers that some scientists a couple of thousands of years or hundreds of years made up. And I don't want to live by those numbers. I want to live by the way that I feel. And I just want to be healthy. And again, I just want to live a long and beautiful life and see my nephew grow up. Just a little bit of a random tangent. Let me know in the comment section below if you're also like physically active and what motivates you to stay active. I would really, really love to know. I feel like this is such an interesting topic, and I feel like you need to have some sort of motivation to keep going, because otherwise we would just be all rotting on our couches. And yes, I know I'm literally sitting on my couch right now, so there's the irony. Anyway, I'm gonna grab myself some breakfast, some coffee, head to work, and I will catch you later. Later, alligator. It is currently Wednesday and it is a rainy, gloomy day. It's actually quite cold, like the temperature dropped by at least like 5 to 10 degrees, which is quite a big change. I skipped my running this morning because I woke up and the weather was miserable and I was just like, I was not feeling it. I was feeling kind of sore. I was very, very tired and I still am. Like, I don't know. Today is just one of those days where I'm just like, ugh. But it's okay. I'm trying to be gentle towards myself. Whenever I do something like this, like skip a run or don't do the things that I'm supposed to do, my initial thought is to kind of guilt trip myself and to feel bad about it. But that is something that I'm trying to work on and just rewire my brain to not go down that path like automatically. It's fine. Just I need to learn to listen to my body and not my brain. My body and heart, that's what I need to listen to. And my body was just telling me that it wasn't a good time for a run. And that's okay. Like one day it's not gonna make any difference anyway. If the weather like gets a little bit better, I might run later or like maybe do some other sort of exercise, maybe some yoga or something, just to get my body moving. But yeah, I'm not gonna guilt trip myself, and I'm not gonna be feeling bad about it. But yeah, I'm feeling so tired today. I have been watching a playthrough of Silent Hill F, which is like this new Silent Hill game that's like centered in Japan. And for those of you that don't know, Silent Hill is like a very iconic, legendary horror game franchise. And yeah, I've been watching a playthrough of it because I am way too scared to play it on my own. Like, I love horror games, I love horror movies, I love horror books, I love horror as a genre. But playing video games, no. And when it comes to movies, I can only watch like horror movies in cinema, and I love watching them in cinema, but I will probably never ever watch a horror movie alone at home. Like that's not my tea. Although I can do like a horror show, which is interesting, but like a horror movie, no. Those are reserved for cinema. And I love horror books. Horror books are great. Like one of my favorite books, We Used to Live Here. That's like a haunted house horror story, and I absolutely love that book. Anyway, I'm just blabbering over here, so I hope you don't mind. I don't know. I like when people just talk about things that are going on in their lives and, the stuff that they enjoy. And I feel like these vlogs are just a great way for you guys to get to know me better. So yeah, I hope you don't mind the random chatty bits. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go work now and I will see you a bit later. It is raining really, really hard outside, and it's also very, very gloomy, which I do love, but unfortunately it's not the best lighting setup for filming purposes, so I do apologize if the lighting is a little bit off. But I have a couple of cuttings that I desperately need to take care of because I've taken these cuttings months ago now and they're rooted, but I just didn't have the energy or the motivation to take care of them. But this video is the perfect excuse because I get to do these like small little plain chores that I otherwise honestly neglect. So yeah, we're gonna be potting up my little bouquet of Pothos cuttings. So I have some Enjoy Pothos in here, and I have some Manjula Pothos in here. I do also have some Epipremnum pinnatum marble. Oh my god, you can see that is rooted. But yeah, I do also have some Epipremnum pinnatum marble, but the only plants that I care about are the Manjula and the Enjoy Pothos. And I actually want to try out something, holy, that is so rooted. I want to try out something a little bit different with these plants. Before I chopped them, these plants were growing up a moss pole, and I'm just not into the moss pole lifestyle anymore. I don't know, like I like moss poles and what they do for my plants, but I just don't like I just don't like the maintenance of them, and I don't want any more in my collection. So I was thinking, I have these cuttings, so I believe, yeah, these two are Enjoy cuttings, Pothos Enjoy, and then these two are Manjula cuttings, and I have been thinking of what could I do with these plants. Now, one of the solution was to just let them trail, but I don't really have any space for like trailing plants, especially for like Pothoses, because Pothoses do grow pretty large. And also the reason why I love these plants is because of the really cool variegation. And I feel like when you let these trail, they just get kind of like small, and I feel like they would easily lose their variegation. So what I came up with is something that I haven't tried yet, but we're going to be putting it into a self-watering pot, and I am going to be using semi-hydro. No particular reason, I just want to do it in this pot. And I want to do it in this pot because I want to put these plants on a clear trellis. So this is a clear U trellis. I love using these for my Hoyas. But I was like, why couldn't I use this for like regular plants? Because I'm gonna be honest, I feel like moss poles, although they are a lot of maintenance, I like the way they look aesthetically. Like I feel like they really provide that nice forward-facing structure of the plant. And I don't like the look of like just stakes. I think cocoa coir stakes, oh, I don't know, there's just something about them that I find so ugly and so disgusting. But I do have these clear trellises, which obviously are quite small, and the plant will outgrow this trellis quite quickly. Like you can tell, that is small. However, my plan is to just have a small little planter of both Manjula and Enjoy, and just let them climb up this little trellis and like create just a little cute U planter of Pothoses. And I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't know how good it will look, but honestly, like I just don't have the space for tall plants or like big plants. So I don't want this thing to climb on a moss pole. And I also don't really have space for like trailing plants. So I was like, okay, this way I can keep it like at a manageable size. And once it fills up the little trellis, I can just like keep on chopping it. And honestly, I just want to try it. I just want to see what it will look like. And why I love this combination in particular is because these U trellises on their own, when you just like put them into soil, can be quite unstable. However, these self-watering pots have these like little feet thingies, and I can actually put the little ends of the trellis into those little feet, and they fit absolutely perfectly. So when you put in the substrate, it is a lot more stable. Like you can see already without the substrate, this is actually like holding on pretty well. I did a similar setup with one of my Hoyas, and I absolutely love it. I love the look of these trellises because they are clear and transparent, but I don't like how unstable they are, and this pod solves the stability issue. Now, one thing that I don't like about these trellises is that this is the biggest size. And that is so unfortunate because I really love these tall trellises, and I wish more people would make like bigger versions of this trellis. I feel like universally this is kind of the tallest they can get. Like if you guys know anywhere that I could get like taller than this clear acrylic trellises, that would be fabulous. Obviously, there are those like bamboo ones, but honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of bamboo either. These ones are they just look chic and cute, and yeah. So anyway, that's what we're gonna be doing. Again, I am gonna be using semi-hydro. I'm gonna be using some pone. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill the bottom of this little planter. And my goal with this plant is just to have like a cute aesthetic plant on my shelf. Like this is not about the plant's growth. It's not about getting it huge or sizing it up massively or like bringing out the most in the plant. I just want to have a cute little Pothos. And I find that the Manjula and the Enjoy are so similar, so I feel like planting them together is a good move. And I'm not sure if I want to plant, I have 2 cuttings of each, and I don't know if I want to plant both or just like have one on each side. And I'm leaning towards having one on each side because when I put in both, it looks maybe a little bit too messy. I don't know. Like I feel like I just want to keep maybe this one. This one is pretty. This one has some damage. Okay, you know what? I feel like I just want to do this. I just want to do two little guys in the pot like this. I feel like that's gonna be cute. So yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do it. When it comes to plant care, you just gotta do it, man. I do feel like I want to maybe chop this stem over here of the Enjoy because it's pretty long. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna leave it as is. And yeah, obviously this setup won't be able to last forever. Like the plants in here will outgrow this setup really quickly. I'm aware of that, but I'm fine with that. Like I'm fine with that. I just wanna try it. I wanna see how it will look once it fills up. Maybe I will. Well, that didn't go inside the pot. Maybe I will really like the look, maybe I won't, but you know what? That's the beauty of plant care. You can always change your mind, you can always restart plants, and I feel like experimenting and trying something new is really the best part of this plant hobby. And like if I'm constantly scared of trying out something new or like trying new ways of growing my plants, I will never like learn. I will never evolve as a plant parent. So yeah, there we go. This was super easy, and you can tell that this little trellis is very stable in here, which I love. Obviously, pon is a lot like heavier and denser than soil, which also helps with the stability. But yeah, there we go. I think this is gonna be cute. Once it grows in, once it perhaps pushes out a couple of more mature leaves, I don't know, I think this could be a really cute setup. And what I can do actually is like just, you know, keep looping it around this trellis and filling it up. Maybe even eventually let some of the vines trail. I don't know, I think it'll be cute, and this way it can actually fit on my shelf, which is an added benefit. Let me know in the comments what you think of this little setup and whether you like it or not. Maybe you have tried something similar. And yeah, I would just love to hear your opinions. But yeah, here we go. A little mixed pot of Manjula Pothos and Enjoy Pothos. Hello everyone, it's Thursday. Currently, I am on my lunch break. I'm actually just like wrapping up my lunch break. I had a delicious little fried rice for lunch, and I also watched the first episode of Alice in Borderlands on Netflix, the new season. The final season, season 3, just came out at the time of recording this little video, and I freaking love Alice in Borderland. Like, I loved both season 1 and 2, and I am so excited for season 3. Although, if I'm being honest, honest, I don't think it needed a third season. Like, I think they're maybe just milking it unnecessarily, you know, like Hollywood loves to do. But anyway, I don't care. Like, I'm still gonna watch it. I still love the show. I love the concept. And if you've never heard of it, or if you don't know what it's about, it's basically like Squid Game, but like in a fantasy setting. I mean, I don't want to compare it to Squid Game, but like, you know, it's kind of similar. But anyway, I love this one way better than Squid Game. And it's basically like all of these people are like transported into like a version of the afterlife where they have to basically play all of these crazy death or life games. And it is extremely intense, and I freaking love it. Okay, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anything that has anything to do with like life, death games, like, just sign me up. I absolutely love it. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to be doing much today when it comes to like plant care or anything, because I have to finish work now. And then later today, I actually have a neurologist appointment. I have been suffering with migraines my entire life. And only this year have I finally decided to actually do something about it. So I went to my first, I mean, that's a lie. I went to a neurologist like at the start of COVID, but honestly, she was kind of useless. And then COVID hit, and like the whole world went up in flames. But recently, I've been experiencing a lot more migraines again, so I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and deal with that. So I'm seeing a neurologist. I went for my first appointment sometime in the spring. I believe it was like late May or something. And yeah, basically she was the reason that I started, you know, running, because she was like something that would probably help your migraines if you would like start doing some kind of like sport, something where you can really like just sweat it out and really get your heartbeat going. And honestly, that has been great. So she also gave me some pills that finally actually work, because before I would just like take all of these like over-the-counter pills that did nothing, like all of these painkillers, and I would be just chugging like 3, 4, 5 painkillers just for like one migraine, and they wouldn't even help. But now I finally have pills that actually help me. However, unfortunately, the goal is to get my migraines down to like 1 or 2 per month. And the frequency of my migraines, although I have implemented so many like healthy habits and healthy lifestyle changes, like working out, like a better diet, less screen time, etc., the frequency of my migraines is still pretty much the same. I still get like 1 or 2 per week, which means that I get 4 to 8 per month. Usually it's like 6 is like a monthly average, which isn't like chronic migraines. I believe chronic migraines are like 10 plus, but even like just having 6 migraines a month it's exhausting. Honestly, it's exhausting. And thankfully, I do have now these meds that, you know, when I do get an attack, I take the medication and it stops it pretty much immediately, like after like an hour or two. So thankfully, because before nothing would help with my migraines. And if you are a migraine sufferer, you know that migraines just keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse as they kind of progress. So yeah, thankfully, I ever since I got those medications, I haven't had like a huge, massive attack. But it would be nice if I could just like, you know, get this whole situation under control. I did also do like a bunch of blood work and stuff, and all of my tests came out like pretty well. I also did like a brain scan, like a MRI. Also was fine. The only thing that's like a little bit lower is like my vitamin D. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I'm honestly looking forward to it just to see what she will like tell me next. I don't know. I like when people give me tasks and like little quests to work towards. Isn't that a little bit sad? Anyway, I'm gonna catch you later. Also made myself a nice little iced latte. Oh, so delicious. Mwah, so delicious. Also, fall is really in full swing over here. It is cold, it's dreary, it's rainy, but I am loving it. Loving it. I barely slept at all last night. Not a fun experience. Anyway, good morning. It is a Friday, and I want to update you guys. I know this video has a lot of chatty sections, and I'm sorry. I know there isn't like a lot of action happening in this video, but honestly, I love talking to you guys. I love just sitting down in front of the camera, chatting. That's probably like my favorite aspect of being a content creator. I mean, filming all of those cool B-roll shots and stuff is fun, but I don't know, this kind of content where I can just like be myself, talk to the camera, is my favorite. So anyway, I hope you don't mind all the chatting, but we're gonna be chatting because I did in fact go see my neurologist yesterday, and like I mentioned, all of my blood work, the MRI, it was all great. Only like a slight vitamin D deficiency, so she gave me something for that, and she also talked to me about starting like a prophylactic, I think that's how you say that, therapy, which is basically like a once a month injection that is supposed to like block the pain receptor that causes migraines, if I understand correctly. And you know, I'm not the biggest fan of needles or injections in general, but you know, she said that it's very well studied, that it doesn't have a lot of side effects. And I've read online that it did help like a lot of people, even like people who have like super chronic migraines, like 20 plus a month, which by the way is crazy. Like she told me about some patients that are just that have to basically take like so many pills and like nothing works for them. And I'm like, you poor souls. Like my migraines are difficult. My migraines are definitely like a lot and they're difficult to deal with, but like I can't even imagine. I mean, I can because I've been there. There was a period in my life where I did have a migraine basically like every other day, and that was horrible. Hopefully, I'll never go back to that. But with this new therapy, the goal is to basically just get the migraines down to as little as possible. And with that, also just reduce the amount of medication that I have to take for my migraines. So yeah, I'm actually going to be heading over to my family doctor right now because like the first shot she's supposed to give me and like show me how to use it, and I am a little bit scared because this is like you like poke yourself, and like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of needles, but anyway, it is what it is. I just hope it will help me. I'm sure it will. And yeah, we'll try it out. If I don't try it out, I will never know. And you know, if I have like any side effects, I can always stop. So that's happening. I also went to the bookstore to buy myself a couple new books after my exam yesterday. And the thing that I like to do is like buy one or two books, and then once I finish those, I buy the next ones. That way I feel like I'm not hoarding books, and I feel like I actually have a like motivation to finish them, because then once I finish one book, I can kind of reward myself by buying another book. So like yeah, that's kind of how I check myself when it comes to like reading and keeping up my reading habit. So I actually want to give you some updates on my reading. The last book that I've read was this one, Venus Flytrap by, what's her name? Emma Medrano? And this book was a bit of a roller coaster. It started off great. I loved it. Then I hated it. And then by the end, I loved it again. Basically, it's like this crazy love triangle. It's a lot of manipulation. It's kind of smutty and porny, which I didn't know. I mean, the cover. I should have known it was a smut book by the cover, but I love the cover, by the way. Like just the color combination, it's gorgeous. But yeah, it's also a little bit PG-18. But yeah, I didn't like the main character. The main character was so annoying, and like she had every single mental illness under the sun. Also, she had like mommy issues, she had a sugar daddy, she had like a plethora of kings, she had like a gay best friend. I don't know, it was just like so many cliches and so much just like everything, you know what I mean? And she was also rude. She was also just a bitch. Like, just honestly, this character was just a mess, and I didn't like her. I mean, she was complex, I'll give you that, but I felt like I felt like she had too much going on. When you have like all of these like mental illnesses and then like all of these like kinks and then you're also like a bad person, I feel like it was just a little bit too much. It was just a bit too much. And not saying that like people with mental issues can't have kinks or whatever. But I wasn't feeling her. However, the other main character, I really liked. And I did like the book in itself and the story. It was really interesting, very fun. I flew through it. It was such an easy read, which I love. Like, I don't know, just like every single like page, I don't know, it had a nice little flow. So I liked it, and I would give it like a 4 point. No, actually, I would give it 4 stars out of 5. And yeah, it was just a little bit maybe too porny, but I'm glad it didn't like stick with the smuttiness, because I like a little bit of smut, but like when it's the only thing that's talked about page after page after page, it gets really boring, really, really boring, because there's only so much you can do with like a sex scene. You know what I mean? Like there's only so many ways that you can describe it before it gets a little bit repetitive. So yeah, but I did like this book. And then I picked up 2 new books. So the first one that I got is I Know Where You Buried Your Husband. And I don't know, this is like about a group of friends who like do some kind of murder. I'm not sure. I don't know. It had good reviews, and upon reading the little blurb at the back, I got a little bit of Desperate Housewives vibes. And like, if you know me, you know that I absolutely love Desperate Housewives. It's my favorite TV drama show. I live for Desperate Housewives. I watched it a bajillion times. I literally know every single line by heart. So yeah, I don't know. This seems like an interesting book, and I'm curious to read that. And then another book that I picked up is Hotel Lucky 7, which I have been eyeing for a while now in the bookstore. This is also some kind of like thriller, murder mystery, whodunit kind of a situation. So yeah, I don't know. I've just been really into like thrillers and horror stuff. I mean, I'm like watching the Silent Hill gameplay, and yeah, I don't know. Like I'm just really in a mood for like thrillers, horrors, and all of that kind of gruesome stuff. Maybe it's because it's like fall and we are like entering the spooky season. But also in general, I just like I love reading horror and thrillers. It's like my favorite genre out there. I'm not a fantasy guy. I don't like fantasy books, and I don't really like I don't know, romance can be fine sometimes, especially if it's queer romance. That's like it needs to be queer. I don't do straight people. No, thank you. So yeah, anyway, picked up these 2 books. And we shall see. I'll probably read this one first. This one is kind of stealing my attention. So yeah. Oh, yeah. And I forgot to mention, this was written by Kate Sawyer, and Hotel Lucky 7 was written by Kotaro Isaka. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go now, and I will see you a bit later. Hello, everyone. It's Monday. I haven't recorded anything over the weekend, and I was planning on doing some plant care, but I was a little bit lazy, and I just wanted to do some other stuff. So yeah, I was basically just chilling. I took the weekend just to relax, honestly. I did do a little bit of watering yesterday, and I do need to finish watering today because some of the plants are very, very thirsty. I did finish watching Alice in Borderlands over the weekend, and I don't know. I liked it, but was it necessary? I don't think so, if I'm being honest. Like, I feel like the season 1 and season 2 were just so good, and like it ended on such a good high note that the 3rd season just wasn't really necessary. But I did enjoy it. But they did the same thing that Squid Game did that annoyed the shit out of me. And first of all, they included a baby. Luckily, this time the baby didn't actually win. And then the second thing is, at the end of the season, they put a little teaser for a potential American version. And I'm like, Why? Like, why? I don't know. But anyway, I thought this would be the last season. So I don't know why they included a teaser at the end, but I don't know. I really hope it's the last season. Like, I hate when companies just like take a good show and just like milk it and beat it to death, because like sometimes it's okay to quit, like, on a high note. Sometimes it's important to know when something is just good enough and when to just, call it quits. And I feel like that show had a really good run. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and now we're done. Okay, we can move on, we can make something new. But yeah, I did that. I watched some more of that Silent Hill F gameplay. I finished that as well. I watched the Gab Smulders videos. I think that's how you say her name. She does like these like crazy long playthroughs that are like 3-4 hours long, which is insane. I thought like plant YouTubers made long videos, but like gaming YouTubers, Jesus Christ, those videos are crazy long. But yeah, I watched that. And then other than that, I just basically took the weekend off to relax and chill. However, I do have one more really, really exciting update. I went for my morning run this morning, and I managed to run 7K, which is significant because that is the longest that I've managed to run before my knee injury a couple of months ago. So that means that I am back, I'm fully healed, my knee doesn't hurt anymore. Like sometimes just like a tiny bit, but like I feel like that's normal. I mean, you're running is a very intense activity on your joints and on your body, but like as long as there is no like constant pain, I'm good, I'm Gucci. But yeah, I'm happy to be back into the swing of running, and now I can finally like just start improving my training and stuff, which is great. And not only am I back to my old like mileage, but I feel so much stronger. I feel like I can run so much faster. I feel like my lung capacity is so much better. And overall, I just feel so amazing. And that makes me so freaking happy. So I just hope that this trajectory can continue. But anyway, I'm gonna end this vlog over here. I know it was a bit of a chatty one and not very action-packed, so I am sorry about that. I hope you can forgive me, but I still hope you enjoyed it. I still hope you got something out of it. If nothing else, just some company while you do some of your own things. Anyway, I hope you have a super amazing, fabulous day, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!